I deeply resonate with this conversation because this is literally what I've spent the last 2.5, maybe even 3 years doing. I started off middle class as a child, and then in my parents' divorce early on in my young years, and I was eating from the food bank, and I was sacrificing my childhood trying to fulfill my parents' dream of opening up a thrift store. And I never was able to have nice things. I had a house that I lived in that was half finished because, my parents, I have my own perspective on that, but my parents just never finished the house we lived in. I could never have friends over because it was always in filth and also unfinished. And I never got any new clothes. Any clothes that I received was from the estate sales or from the storage units that I had to spend my weekends helping them out with. And so, when I started embarking on becoming a successful, wealthy, authentic, high integrity spiritual leader, mentor online, all of my financial limitations were put on a microscope. And the last 2.5, 3 years have really been about releasing poverty consciousness and really owning and vibrating and choosing wealth, abundance, prosperity mindset. And we're not going to talk about conventional wisdom here. Like, I do believe in reprogramming the brain. I do believe in conditioning your mind and affirmations. I do believe in all of those. Okay, but I want to talk about things that you might not find in a regular YouTube video. I got this question on TikTok, and this girl asked, how do you balance the 3D while acting from your passion when starting from actual poverty? And this is what caused me to, well, really, this is what inspired me to have this conversation. And so, I'm going to give you like 5 or 6 things that are not regurgitated conventional wisdom stuff. But remember, you do need to reprogram your mind. You do need to condition your mind. These are just more etheric, spiritual, things that I like to practice and that I have practiced in this journey of overcoming my own financial mindset limitations and poverty consciousness. Okay, so everything that I'm sharing with you, I know you have to just take my word for it, but everything that I'm sharing with you is something that I have done to its fullest and used in its fullest capacity. Okay, so the first one is getting out of survival. Okay, and I know that this is so challenging when you're actually facing it, when you have bills and your bills are more than your income, or your income just covers your bills. See, the thing is that transcendence happens when we think and feel beyond our environment. Okay, and so we have to think beyond the current circumstances that we're facing. And so that requires us to go into that really deep state level of trust in creation, or that deep level of trust with source. And now, one thing that I did to help navigate this, Bashar was big for me with this, Dr. Joe Dispenza was big for me on this. So if you want more about those two, please go look them up. I totally celebrate their work. But the way that I, looked at this getting out of survival, there's two aspects to this. The first one is that Bashar's, explanation of the higher mind versus the physical mind, where the physical mind was not designed to see the bigger picture of life. It was not designed to figure out the how. The higher mind is what is self-organizing and has that bigger picture of your life. It has the view on top of the mountain that can see the path you're walking. And so when we try to use our mind to calculate how, pre-plan how, to, try to figure out the how, that's when we go into stress, anxiousness, depression, sadness, grief, because we're not using the physical mind the way it's meant to be. The physical mind just registers what is going on in this external reality, communicates that with the higher mind. The higher mind self organizes whatever your circumstance you're being presented with and communicates to you new direction, new actions, and all of these things through intuition, through excitement, through emotions. Okay. And so when we come down to the plane of this earth, we are actually split in half. And there's a half of us that's connected to spirit, to creator, God, source, universe. And then there's the aspect of self that we're most familiar with, which is experiencing this 3D reality. And so, when trying to get out of survival, there are hundreds of amazing techniques to help turn on that parasympathetic nervous system. But the most important thing in getting out of survival and what worked best for me is surrendering control. And that doesn't mean that you're giving up. It means that you are surrendering to the control that is already built within your divine timeline blueprint and getting out of your own way. Stop trying to figure and calculate everything out and allow the universe, allow the higher self, allow the higher mind, allow your guides and angels to work on your behalf. Because the truth of the matter is, you're probably getting in your way more than you realize. Okay, so getting out of the first step that I would say is get out of survival. The second thing here is any time that you're saying I have to, I need to, otherwise this won't happen. So I need to post a reel, otherwise I won't make any money. Or I need to write this blog or I won't be successful. When you have that need to, have to, very conditional mindset, that is not living in abundance. In fact, that's living in a lot of fear and scarcity, and wealth and abundance and prosperity. Survival can't exist there. And you do need to be the frequency and vibration first before you can actually start experiencing it in this reality. So when you're really transcending multiple financial levels in one lifetime, it's going to require a lot of courage, but really, and honestly, most importantly, it's going to require a lot of effing faith. Okay, it's you're totally walking blind sometimes, and you just have to put your trust in the higher mind, and whatever inspired action you want to take without attachment to the outcome, that is what you do, which leads me into the next step, right? And this cannot be emphasized enough. You have to detach from the timeline, the time expectation, and the outcomes. Okay. This stacks on the higher mind conversation. So when we visualize things for our life, really what the purpose of that visualization is to get us into inspired action, but also start broadcasting a frequency from our heart that communicates with the universe to send you more of what you want, because the universe only knows one word, and that is yes, right? And your heart is 5,000 times more powerful electromagnetically than your brain, than your thoughts, than what you're thinking. And so when you are visualizing, our ego, our small human self is like, oh, that's the way it's going to happen, and that's the way it's going to play out. And it's not happening unless I see it in my reality. And that is not the case. So it's so important that when we receive information from the higher mind through visualization or daydreaming or conversations, that we can look at that as acknowledgement that we are on the right path, and that is the emotion and vibratory state that we are creating. But we must release the attachment to the way we think it's supposed to play out, because it's always this or better. And the more that you confine yourself to, I'm supposed to earn income this way, or I'm supposed to be making money this way, or I'm supposed to be earning this amount by now, you are actually closing yourself off to all the other ways that financial abundance can come to you. And so you just have to remain, again, in complete and utter faith and start asking questions. Creator, how do you want me to receive money right now? Creator, what is the highest and best, most easeful way to start receiving financial income right now? Where are you guiding me to go? And even if it feels like it's out of alignment or it's completely different from what you had in mind, that is actually a sign that it is exactly right. You're exactly in alignment, because your money, your financial wealth and prosperity is more than likely going to come to you in a way that you can't perceive or predict how. Because if you can predict it, then you're manifesting from the past version of yourself, and the past version of yourself is in survival, and your future is always unpredictable. So we have to release our attachment to how we think we're supposed to receive our financial wealth and allow ourselves to remain open to letting it flow through you. And that's another thing too. The law of attraction is a completely different conversation. Personally, I believe the law of attraction is outdated. But the truth is like, how do we allow? Because we've heard that all the time. How do we allow? How do we allow? And it's that it's having this acceptance and acknowledgement for the abundance or financial means that you already have in your life, even if it's not to the scale that you desire. So this kind of bleeds into number 3. So let's say that you have to pay all of your bills with your paycheck, with your business, monthly income, whatever have you, and you only have $1 left. The scarcity mindset within you, which you do need to subconsciously reprogram, but the scarcity mindset within you is going to say that's not enough. When in reality, Creator is showing you that you do have an abundance. And anytime that you deny that level of abundance, there's no difference between having $1 in abundance or having $100,000 of extra in your bank account. But because it's not to the desired degree that the ego wants, we're actually again dismissing, cutting off our ability to receive more abundance because we're not grateful for what we have. We have to have a perception, because perceiving something is how you receive it. You have to be able to perceive it in order to receive it. So the more that we can perceive and acknowledge and celebrate even the little micro wins, and guys, I know when you're struggling and you're trying to come out of survival, this is so challenging because you're thinking about the lack of time or the lack of money or all of this, that, and the other thing. Okay, but we have to focus and bring our attention to all the ways that we are already experiencing abundance. Whether that be you have an abundance of time, you have abundance of imagination, you have abundance of creativity, you have abundance of synchronicity, you have an abundance of trade and barter, you have an abundance of support. Abundance is the vibration that you're wanting. It equates to that freedom, and you were desiring it in the form of money. But if you keep hyper fixating on the fact that you don't have it financially, you're going to continue to cut yourself off from it. And I know this because I've done this thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So let me save you like 2.5 years of complete heartache, and just tell you that the more that you start to acknowledge the other forms of abundance that you have in your life, the more that you allow the financial abundance to come in. And there's another aspect to this too. I've stopped labeling things as negative or positive. At this point, it's just preferable or non-preferable. And the reason why I do that is because when we define something as negative, or we define something as bad, or we try to ignore it, push it out of our lives, deny it, invalidate it, you're actually invalidating its purpose in creation. And so therefore you're not recognizing the lesson that it's trying to bring you. And because you're invalidating its purpose in creation and the lesson that it's trying to bring to you, you are going to bring more of it into your life because you're missing the point. The measure of the abundance that you can bring into your life is directly correlated to your tolerance and not having it all, right? So in order for you, like when you start investing will make you feel broke, when in reality it's making you rich. right? Your ability to tolerate this feeling of being broke is in direct correlation in that rubber band effect to springboard you forward to how much wealth you're willing to experience, right? When you're working out, trying to build muscle, your muscles and your body feels weak when in reality it's actually making you strong. So you have to adopt this mindset that the more of acceptance and unconditional love and surrender to the lessons that this really extreme financial lack is bringing me is actually that rubber band effect to see how much I am willing to tolerate and have faith in and accept in and use it for growing, for purging and all of that stuff to springboard me forward. If you're experiencing one extreme of something, you're going to experience one extreme of the other, and you just have to surrender to the path. And that's another thing too. I think we're on 4 right now. I did this severely. Okay. And this kept me in my second worst year of business. Okay. Like I'm talking less than $10,000 earned. So when I'm telling you that I've been through this and this is coming from experience, I want you to know this. Okay. So I was always invalidating myself because I wasn't where I wanted to be in the future yet. I lived so much in the future and I compared myself to my future so much that I was resenting who I was. And by doing that, you're actually attempting to erase a milestone, the milestone of the person and the lessons cultivated. And I know this is not fun. This is not, oh, we're gonna dance in wealth. Like, this is the nitty gritty stuff that nobody likes to go through and that nobody really likes even talking about because it's all about, oh, just do your affirmations and, do your new moon rituals and all that stuff. And it's like, I do believe in those things, but that's not what makes a difference in your life. I'm here to take away all of the sugar coating. I'm here to take away all of the BS so that you can actually get down to that really deep, nitty-gritty, transformational actions and non-actions in your life so that you can actually see a difference without having this band-aid of a full moon, new moon affirmations ritual. Okay? Like, damn, if you're still hanging with me, you are the real deal. Okay? But as I was saying before, I was invalidating who I was now, measuring my worth based on my financial means or lack thereof, and resenting myself, and therefore attempting to erase a milestone. The truth is that every version of who you are in every single day and every single now moment is a milestone that leads you to that person that you're going to be. And the more that you invalidate, resent, get angry about, or get angry towards, then you're not getting the point. You're not learning the lesson. You're not using the stepping stone as it's meant to be. You can't get from step 1 to step 10 by missing steps 2 through 9. You have to take each and every step. And once I just accepted that I can't change my financial circumstances right now, I'm feeling completely stagnant in it, I'm feeling completely blocked in it, it made me realize that I just had to have acceptance because acceptance is the foundation to all healing. You cannot move forward unless you have a level of acceptance for it, not justifying, not, all of those things. It's different when we're talking about people in your life. But I had to accept that this is the chapter that I'm working with. I've done everything in my power to try and change it. It's not working. So there's something for me to grasp here that I'm not seeing. And as soon as I did that, I started seeing massive changes in my life. My social media on TikTok has grown exponentially. I'm getting more clients on my Patreon. I'm getting recognition from a very well-known personal development person right now on Telegram. Okay, I'm just starting 2025, so recording this in the first 22 days of January. So financial means and measurements have not, come up yet, right? If I could give you dollars worth, I totally would. But I'm getting recognition and abundance in other ways. And I can feel the money coming in. I feel more aligned with money. I have more belief in money. It's coming to me playing with money energetically when I'm falling asleep, all of these things. It's coming in, I can feel it. Okay? But if you can't change the circumstances, then surrender to them, find the deeper meaning within them, accept the person that you are now, knowing that it's going to create a strong, foundational, unwavering, unbreakable, unstoppable milestone for you to step onto so that you can be that future version of yourself. And then when you're that future version of yourself, you can go back with deep sentiment and be like, thank you so much for going through that. Thank you for all the wisdom you pulled out of that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so then let's go into one last thing and then we will wrap this up. Okay, I'm telling you, if you listen to these words and implement them like gospel, it will change your life. Okay. So just to recap, get out of survival. That's number one. Number two, acknowledge all forms of abundance. Have acceptance and have the level of acceptance or the milestones that you have. Release the pressure of time that you have to have it done by a certain point, that because the more that you're concerned about how long it will take to do something, the longer time will take. You have to just surrender to it, and if you can't change it, then it's meant to be a milestone and a very important part of your path and all of the wisdom that is meant to come through to you, and go from there. And then remove the measurement of value within self or your work because of finances. The way that you define success is how successful you will feel. Okay. So you have to really, if this is a long-term game, this is not, I get wealthy in 6 months, or I get wealthy by the age of 30, or I get wealthy by blah, 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 blah. If you're here, finances are a theme that you're meant to explore in your life right now. Here's another thing too. Okay. This is the last thing. It is allowing yourself to feel the pain. So when you're transcending any type of timelines, when you're quantum leaping, when you're going from poverty to extreme wealth, there are parts of you that need to be shed. Okay, that includes listening to your inner child, listening to that voice within, changing your emotional home, removing the identities and beliefs that would prevent you from allowing yourself to receive money, to receive wealth. And that comes from allowing yourself to sit with that voice that says you're not enough. It's allowing yourself to sit with that voice that says you're not worthy. It's being able to sit with that voice that says it'll never work out for you. Nobody cares what you have to say. You don't provide a good product. And here's why. So when we go down this spiral, we think that we're actually out of alignment because we're not in our high vibrational positive state that everybody talks about in the spiritual community. When we raise our hand and we say, I want to become wealthy, or I want to become successful, or I want to make a great impact on the world, or I want to do something to create, I want to do something to change humanity for the better. Creator says, yes, you can do that. And then all of the things in your subconscious mind that are not in alignment with that version of you come to the conscious mind, to the surface, to be consciously released. And so what normally happens is that when we have this belief come up, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, you're never going to be successful, nobody's going to see you, all of these things, when those come up, we usually try to ignore, because like, we're no, I'm not going to manifest that, I don't want to manifest that, so goodbye, I'm just going to affirm you out of here, I'm going to meditate you out of here, or I'm going to do breath work you out of here, and blah, 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 blah. That's not how it works. In fact, when you do that, again, you're keeping it alive within you. You have to look it in its eyes and have unconditional love and acceptance that it's there. Because here's the truth. Okay. Doesn't just work for me. I literally just brought a client out of homelessness. She was homeless for years. And just recently, she found herself in a room with a veteran, not having to pay rent and sleeping on a Tempur-Pedic bed. So this doesn't just work for me, this has worked for other people too. Okay? When you allow yourself to feel into that gap that pain of I'm not enough to I am enough. I'm still experiencing poverty. I have financial freedom. When you allow yourself to sit in that space and allow yourself to feel that pain in its fullest capacity, and you accept that this is the pain that you are feeling, that is how you release the belief. That is how you release the sorrow, the subconscious beliefs and subconscious sabotage and all of that stuff. Every big breakthrough comes with a breakdown. And so you have to fall in love with that death and rebirth process. And you have to know that you have to feel into that pain, and you have to sit with that pain long enough to where it no longer to when it has no longer has control over you. This single-handedly, this alone, even if you took everything else and scratched everything that I said, this alone, allowing yourself to feel into the pain, the disappointment, the wanting, the sorrow, the embarrassment, the grief, the sadness, the rage, the anger, the frustration. If you allow yourself to feel that pain in a safe space and you let it pour out of you and purge out of you, that alone will move mountains in your reality. Okay? So allow yourself to feel the pain. Allow those I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm never going to be good enough, it'll never work out. Allow those to come up and feel them, because if you don't, you're suppressing them, and then they're unconsciously going to be controlling you. If you don't want them to control you, you have to feel them and let them go. They are the portals to your freedom. Okay, you have to get out of survival. You have to detach from the visualization. You have to detach from the outcome. You have to release the measurement of worth and value that equates to money or earnings or views or clients or customers or whatever have you. You have to release the pressure of time. You have to have acceptance for where you are in this chapter and have gratitude for the milestone, the stepping stone that you are creating for your future self. If you do all of these things, including reprogramming your subconscious mind, doing your affirmations, listening to people who talk about where you want to go and what you're doing, conditioning your mind, surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to be. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Right? So if you do all of these things and all of these other conventional wisdom things that you could open up any YouTube video and talk about, listen to them talk about, you will have it. And I just want to end this with this. I know that this was long. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I don't want to gatekeep anything. I want you to have everything. I want you to have all the resources. I want you to have everything that you need to get what you want, because I believe in you. Okay, I know that might sound strange, or like, oh, this girl, I don't even know her first video, whatever. I believe in you. Okay, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. I know you have a gift, skill, or ability that is meant to be shared with the world. I see it, and you feel it. So this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we will end the video. You have to keep going. I know you're going to want to give up. I know you're going to question your sanity. I know you're going to cry yourself to sleep. I know you're going to go months and maybe even years with failure. I've done it. I'm getting emotional now as I'm thinking about it because I've been there. Okay. I know it's painful. I know it's dark. I know you can't see the path forward. I know you don't know what the hell you're doing. I know you're taking it day by day. I know you're taking it moment by moment. I know it feels insurmountable. I know. I have this belief that if I never give up, success, wealth, has no choice but to show up at my door. I just need to adapt. I just need to reflect. I need to recover, and I need to recalibrate. And then I pick myself up and I keep going. It's like giving up is not an option. It's not even in my awareness. I will adapt. I'll be flexible with the plan, but I will be consistent and in strong conviction with the dream. And that's all you need to do. You just need to give it your best every single day. If you want help, I have a Patreon, $7.77 a month, patreon.com/ Haley Carbajal. You can work with me every single week for 2 hours a week and get the help and support that you need. Because also, I would not be as far as I am without a mentor. A mentor is absolutely essential, non negotiable. If it's not me, that's cool too. Find somebody that you already resonate with and go work with them. Have them help you. Okay, but I made it affordable because I know that people with the biggest dreams and can make the biggest impact don't always have the biggest bank account. That's why I do Patreon, because I effing care and I want you to succeed. But anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I hope that this was helpful. If you know that this could help a friend, share it. And guys, last thing I promise, if you do not listen to this again within the next 48 hours, you risk losing 70% of the information, of the downloads, of the epiphanies. So save this, bookmark this somehow. When you feel like you're on your knees saying, Creator, what are we doing here? Come back to this video to recenter you, to guide you, to ground you, because what you want will happen given that you keep going. And the fact that you're experiencing all of these challenges and obstacles is an exact direct sign that it is happening. Because if you were working a 9 to 5 job, not following your higher calling or soul's purpose, then you wouldn't be experiencing these challenges right now. You are being handcrafted to be that authentic leader that you are meant to be. It's happening. This is how it happens. People only give you highlight reels of their life. They are never honest. I am here to be honest with you. Okay? Comment if this was helpful. If you want more help, more questions to ask, you have more things you want me to talk about, leave them in the comments below. My channel's still small enough where I can respond to everybody, and make sure to subscribe. Okay? If you want help, Patreon, I have a few other links that you can check out down below. And I will see you guys next time. So much love, so much appreciation. Keep going. You're on the path and it will work out, even if you can't see it now.